The Raptors were up by 3 to start the fourth quarter in Utah. Then, RJ Barrett hits a layup and a 3. Scotty Barnes takes a shot to lead by 11. What a disaster! The Raptors could win this game! So the coach immediately yanks his starters and replaces Barrett, Barnes, and Emmanuel Quickley for Colin Castleton, Jamal Sheed, and Jamison Battle. Why? Because they're trying to lose this game. It's a new form of tanking. See, the Jazz tried the old way of tanking. They just sat Lauri Markkanen, got fined $100,000. You need to be more creative. So the Raptors have started sitting their best players in close games. This is what the NBA has been reduced to. If a win's within reach, Toronto puts in the G League guys no one's ever heard of. Tanking is now at an all-time low, despite the NBA doing everything they can to fix it. So now a league exec tells ESPN tanking and ways to address it could come up with the NBA's competition committee this offseason. So what are they gonna do? I mean, they've already tried changing lottery odds, putting in the 65 game rule. They created the friggin' play-in tournament like, hey, you might be able to make the playoffs. And teams like, yeah, we don't care. We'd rather have Cooper Flag. So what now? Well, the NBA needs to get creative. And what are some of these wild ideas that the NBA is coming up with to kill tanking once and for all? But a little secret about the end of the year is I've got a little extra edge on Underdog. You know how I like to play Pick'em, where I pick higher or lower on stats for my favorite players, whatever games I'm gonna watch that night. And I'm also playing for Baseball Opening Day Thursday. They got a promo called Split the Pot, where they've got a pot of $500K for the longest home run. All you have to do is go to the lobby, click on the promo, and pick the player you think is gonna hit the longest home run opening day to split a gigantic pot. So let me give you my 2 picks for tonight. First up is Nikola Jokic, lower on his 3-pointers, that's at 1.5. And then Norm Powell of the Clippers, lower on his 18.5 points. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. Check out this map. Underdog's available in states like Texas and California, Florida with champions, everything you can see on your screen. If you never played, it's the best way to help out the channel with code AM Hoops. Because you enter that when you sign up, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a special free pick. Well, the Raptors aren't the only problem. For example, the Jazz have played Lauri Markkanen in just 4 of their 25 clutch minutes since the All-Star break. They got smart. The Thunder even get Philly's pick if it's outside the top 6. So what they did is sit all of their good players against Philly to try to get the Sixers to win a game. I mean, look at this. They didn't even show their starting lineup on the Thunder's own broadcast because they were so embarrassed by it. Like, normally they show the road starters, then the home starters. But nope, showed Philly's crap starting 5, then went straight to this reporter. Nothing to see here. So that means that tankers aren't the only problem. Check this garbage list. We've got 7 legitimate tanking teams this year. 4 more that got knocked out for big injuries. 3 teams like the Thunder, Cavs, and Celtics who don't really care because their seed's already locked in. And veteran teams like the Lakers and Nuggets who are prioritizing health over seeding. So the result is a miserable March where the NBA is almost unwatchable. Over half the teams literally do not care if they win a game on any given night. So what can they do to fix it? Well, let's look at what they've already tried in the past. So as crazy as this sounds, from 1949 to 1966, they had something called a territorial draft, where you got to pick a guy if he played in a college near your town. So if the college was within 50 miles of the home arena, that player was yours. Everybody back in the day was begging Wilt Chamberlain to go to their local college, but he chose to go to Kansas instead. Then from 1966 to 1984, they had a coin flip for number 1 until the Rockets ruined it. They lost 14 of their last 17 games, played 38-year-old Elvin Hayes a gajillion minutes. And this guy was not like LeBron 38, okay? He was 1984, 38 years old, okay? Dude was practically crippled. Commissioner David Stern was so pissed, he changed the rules to a lottery. But Houston won that coin flip for Hakeem Olajuwon, and if they had lost the coin flip, number 2 on their draft board was Michael Jordan. So heck yes, tanking is worth it, which is where we are today. These teams think Cooper Flag is the next MVP type guy. So before these fixes, what does the draft look like today? Well, several teams don't own their own picks in the 2025 draft. For example, the Hawks pick goes to the Spurs, the Clippers pick goes to OKC, the Kings pick goes to Atlanta if it's outside the top 12, and the Suns pick goes to Houston. So keep that in mind as we run 10 draft simulations. Now, if the draft went in order of worst record, it would look like this. The Wizards go number 1 for Cooper Flagg, then the Jazz, Hornets, Pelicans, Sixers, Nets, Raptors, Heat, Spurs, and Blazers round out the top 10. But the actual results are random. So here's what I found in 10 real-world draft simulations. The Jazz and Sixers each got the number 1 pick 3 times out of 10, which means that Philly, who avoided tanking as long as possible, got rewarded. The Wizards, Heat, Nets, and Raptors all picked first once. So the Hornets, who have an equal chance as the Jazz, never even got the number 1 pick. That's the danger of tanking, but teams don't care. So how do we fix it? Well, idea number 1 is to flatten the lottery odds, which means that every team who misses the playoffs has an equal chance at number 1. So you don't have to tank because there's no race to the bottom. As long as you're in the draft lottery, you got a chance. If you're the worst team or the 5th worst team, it doesn't matter. But that would actually create a different race to miss the playoffs, right? Like, can you imagine if a team was in the play-in tournament? I mean, would you rather win the play-in and have the 8th seed to get crushed by the Thunder, or have a real chance at Cooper Flagg? Teams would be trying to lose the play-in tournament so bad, it would be embarrassing for the NBA. They actually used to have this flat odds system, but they got rid of it when the Magic got number 1 in back-to-back drafts, including Shaq, despite barely missing the playoffs. So idea number 2 is to freeze the lottery odds at the All-Star break. What would it be like if lottery odds did not even matter down the stretch? Why would you lose games? Whatever you are at All-Star is set. We could even have really bad teams who are trying to make the playoffs at the end of the year because their lottery odd was already set like over a month ago. So if this rule was applied this year, the Sixers would actually lose their pick to OKC. The Pelicans would be in the top 3 with no reason to sit guys like Zion and CJ McCollum like they're doing right now. Idea number 3, basketball penalties. The NBA recently admitted money doesn't matter. Some owners do not care about the luxury tax. Joe Lacob paid more than anybody in luxury tax, $500 million, to keep the Warriors together. So the new CBA has basketball penalties if you spend too much, like making trades impossible, freezing draft picks. So what if they applied that to tanking? If a team is in the lottery 2 of 3 years, they have no chance at the number 1 pick. If they're on a 3 of 4 years, they have no chance at number 1 or number 2, and so on. This would force teams to make the playoffs every few seasons. Next idea is a lottery tournament. What if they took all the bottom teams who missed the playoffs and made them play a tournament for the number 1 pick? All 14 teams, single elimination at the end of the year. This would be so much fun to watch with so much at stake. Ratings would be through the roof. Every single NBA fan and casual fan would tune into this tournament. Who's gonna get Cooper Flagg and then Ace Bailey and so on? The only problem I can see is losing on purpose to get into this little tournament, right? Like, teams could lose on purpose to get in the tournament, then unleash their best players. Like, what if the Pelicans pretended that they were hurt, only to bring back Zion and Herb Jones and CJ McCollum and all that to win Cooper Flagg? Maybe there is just no one absolute way to fix tanking, and this is part of the NBA. I mean, European soccer has relegation that is not coming to the league. Maybe the end of the NBA calendar will always kind of suck before the playoffs. So tell me your favorite tank fix and if there's anything I missed. But one NBA draft pick who is balling out this year, late in the year, is Bronny James. He has actually had a more successful rookie season than anyone predicted. So I looked at how he has improved, but most importantly, how did Bronny go from 5 points per game at USC to a legit scoring threat as a professional? I mean, it makes no sense. Like, how could you get better at a higher level? Well, that's Bronny this year. He is doing the impossible.